So I want to look at this another concept that we ran from the pistol unbalanced look. This time we're running basically a zone read play, um, but we end up with two defenders in the backfield, and Brown gets dropped for a loss. So let's try to see, kind of why that happened the way it did, and what we could do in the future so it won't be repeated. What happens here is, if we look at what we're doing on the line, this is really kind of inventive. We've got an unbalanced look, and then for the quarterback keeper on the zone read, we pull the guard for the sweep to lead block for the sweep, and then we're reading the defensive end here, so we're supposed to leave him unblocked. So Ash reads that he's going outside with the pull, so he's going to hand off. The problem here is on the backside of this play where we're running inside zone. The inside zone runs into trouble when the defensive tackles are running a slant against the action of the inside zone. And what happens here is, normally with inside zone rules, if you have a defender slant across you, then you might help with him a little bit, but basically he becomes the responsibility of the man to your left. So let's kind of see what happens between Kelly and Walters here. They have a defender slanting across them, and they combo him, but essentially he becomes Walters' responsibility. Walters is the one who's responsible for getting his hat to the left of the helmet of that defender. Well, that's normally how Espinoza operates in inside zone. He's an interior lineman on inside zone. He's a playside lineman. And so when he gets a defender slanting across him, he's used to having help on the backside with that defender. In this concept, he doesn't. And so we're putting him in a position that he's not normally in. Basically, he would be like a tackle, a formation tackle on these inside zone rules. So he lets this defensive end go, thinking he's got someone helping him behind him, but he doesn't. And so as a result, the defensive tackle comes free and has a straight line right to Malcolm Brown in the backfield. This is totally a great concept. If Espinoza ends up picking up this defensive tackle, like he should, then you can look at how this concept has created a huge gap in the defense right up the seam. So the action of this play, the inside zone to this side and the pulling guard to this side, have created a divide in the defense. And that's sort of the intention, that we want to exploit that, or we want to exploit the sweep to the short side here. That doesn't happen. And so, one of the things that we're seeing here is we maybe put our linemen in a few too many positions, or had them doing a little bit too much in this game. It's a really delicate balance that a good coordinator needs to try to strike, where they're developing their players, they're continuing to incorporate new concepts, keeping diversity in the playbook to keep the defense on their heels, but then also giving their players enough reps in those concepts so that they can execute at a high level and execute against looks that they're maybe not initially expecting. And you can see Harsin, he's done a really great job up to this stage of incorporating diversity and putting our offense in good positions. In this game, they seemed a little bit overwhelmed, and the execution wasn't where it should be, because I think they encountered a lot more defensively than they were expecting. So that'll be an interesting balance to see going forward, is do we continue to just incorporate a ton of plays and still struggle with some execution and mental cues like this, or do we simplify a little bit going forward, focus on some core concepts, and then keep a little bit of diversity to get the defense in certain situations?